Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today, Volta Insurance Solutions, powered by Appulate. I will be one of two presenters today. My name is Vanessa Dulier-Camara. I'm the Director of Customer Development at Appulate, and I'm joined by the President of Volta Insurance Solutions, Adam Meyerson.
It's a pleasure to have you guys all on today. Looking forward to a good webinar.
Thank you, Adam. So a quick some webinar logistics before we get started. So due to the size of the webinar, all attendees are currently muted. We will have a Q&A session at the end, so you don't forget your questions. Go ahead and type them in the GoToMeeting side panel in that question section as you have them, but we'll get to those at the end during Q&A. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted to our YouTube page as well as to our help section within Appulate by the end of the day. Our YouTube page is Appulate Inc. So before we take a deep dive into Volta's outstanding programs powered by Appulate, I'd like to take just a few moments to update you on Appulate. Appulate's network continues to grow rapidly. We now have over 30,000 agencies in network and hundreds of markets, making Appulate the place where agents, MGAs, and carriers do business digitally. Our commitment to you, the agent, is to empower you by expanding your markets, automating your workflow, and saving you time and money. So a little more first on expanding your markets. For over a decade, agents have been using Appulate to streamline their submission process, and often agents would come to us actually looking for markets to place a part of their business. So it was then that we realized there's more that we could be doing for you, the agent, and we decided to then be a technology partner to program administrators that were looking to automate their quoting process and deliver it to a large network of agents. So now Appulate hosts a real-time rate quote request to bind experience for several markets, including Volta, meaning that you can get your quote or estimated, or your premium indication in just minutes. So how exactly do we automate the submission process? Well, it all starts with Uplink, which eliminates the need to rekey data. It actually bridges over all of the Accord data from any agency management system or Accord PDF, and it populates other forms, carrier portals, and the program administrator smart questionnaires that are in Appulate. It also eliminates the need for your markets to rekey any information, which makes it a win-win. Now, Appulate is brought to you, the agent, at zero cost for use with our partnered markets, as the carriers, MGAs, and program admins cover the cost so that you can do business with them in an easier way. And not only is it free to use, but it can save you some money too. So what you're looking at on my screen here, based on a recent survey that we conducted on retail agents, agents are averaging about 40 submissions per month. That's what was reported. And agents are saving about 37 minutes per submission using Appulate. Now, this translates to an average of close to 1,500 minutes or over 24 hours saved per month with Appulate. And in dollars, it's about $593 per agent per month or over $7,000 per year in savings. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Volta Insurance Solutions, which currently has its rate quote request to bind platform in Appulate. It is free to use, and it can produce an instant premium indication for you for workers' comp. In just a few minutes, we'll actually take you through a live demo. But first, I'd like to hand this over to Adam to tell you a little bit more about Volta.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. We're looking at a good day today. So what you're looking at here is our mission statement. But rather than go over that with you, I'd rather mention something else. I want to give you a little bit of background about us as a company. So as a concept, Volta was envisioned as a company that would change the way commercial producers would interact with wholesalers. The industry standard to date is fragmented, time-consuming, frustrating, and void of any real automation. So producers like yourselves have known the difficulties in dealing with traditional wholesalers, yet you guys continue to use us. And that's because we provide a very important piece of the puzzle, which is access to markets and products that you may not or would not necessarily have access to. So in the world of InsurTech, what's special about Volta is not necessarily what we are doing, it's how we are doing it. So like a traditional wholesaler, Volta provides the same access to competitive commercial markets and products. However, Unlike a traditional wholesaler, Volta also provides a unique technology platform powered by Appulate that enables our appointed producers to obtain premium indications in real time and bindable quotes in minutes. Thanks to this technology, our ability to have an exponentially accelerated turnaround time and our immediate attention to producer submissions is what makes our offering so attractive. Our technology platform has added the elements of ease of use and efficiency in an area of the industry where it has been considerably lacking for some time. So this is a list, a couple of different lists here. This basically shows you the products and partners that Volta currently has on board. As far as the business that we are looking for, your standard lines of commercial business: workers' compensation, general liability, excess liability, property, package, business owners, and professional liability. All of these lines of business we write through TOPA Insurance Company, Employers Insurance Company, RLI Insurance Company, and Atlas General Insurance Services. We also have 3 more markets coming on board. One of them is a nationwide admitted work comp carrier. We have a professional liability BOP and another GL carrier coming on board as well. So we've got a lot of things on the way that you're going to actually be able to have access to easily within the next month, month and a half, on top of what you see here. So these are just some examples of some of the industries that we can write. We have expanded, of course, our reach into artisan contractors, some of your more high-risk business, whether it's artisan contractors business that's a new venture or haven't had prior insurance, we can write that. No more going to State Fund. You can bring that stuff to us. We can do work comp for cannabis business. We do warehousing, janitorial, assisted living. We'll do towing, automotive, anything that you see listed here, plus a whole bunch of other classes that we can write. And on our website, we actually, in our resources section, there is all of our documentation with regards to the individual classes that we will write, not only from a workers' comp perspective, but also from general liability as well. So you'll have access to everything that we will do. So the big question is, what do we provide? So using Appulate, our front-end technology platform is comprised of automated data entry, instant premium indications, real-time quoting for our API program markets, and same-day turnaround for issued policies. Now, to be clear, for business that does not fit within the appetite for our instant quoting markets, we also accept risks through Appulate that are processed in the traditional manner. We submit that business directly to the carriers and return this business to you with a quote in no more than 48 hours. So as we build our integrations with each carrier, we bring on a new carrier, we have to build an integration. And those integrations don't come all at once. So as we build a new integration, new ones come online, and then we move on to the next one. So we are building these integrations to be able to offer you real-time quoting with every single market that we offer. So as far as market access and products, we do provide you access to competitive products with admitted and non-admitted carriers for each line of business they represent. We are licensed in 16 different states for work comp. That's minus the 2 that are monopolistic, which are Ohio and Washington. But we write business in 14 individual states, of course, the entire Pacific Southwest, all the way out to Colorado, then Texas, Florida, New York, Massachusetts, Michigan, Illinois, and West Virginia. So at Volta, because we're automating most of the manual processes, this increases our efficiency and ultimately lowers overhead. And this is thanks to the fewer or 0 human touch points that are associated with our process. So just by using Appulate and using the process that we have done through Appulate with Volta, ultimately, we will be able to save you money, which basically puts more money in your pocket. So in a nutshell, Volta offers a simplified user interface using Appulate's state-of-the-art platform. There is little to no haggling over guidelines or how long it takes to get a quote, because it's either within 48 hours or it's instantaneous. If you get a quote, that's the rate. It can be bound, same day. There's no playing around with it, and there's also no additional underwriting that you're going to have to do after the fact. That's one of the things that we've also heard, is that when you have, depending on your appointment with whatever carrier, you go to bind a policy, and the next thing you know, they're asking you a slew of new underwriting questions, or they send you a supplemental form that they have to fill out in order to bind that risk. With us, when you get your quote, that's it. So not only do we provide access to those competitive insurance products, our technology platform provides that automated front-end underwriting, which simplifies the entire submission process and gives you the instantaneous quoting capability and bind requests all at the click of a mouse. We remove the roadblocks and unnecessary points of contact for a seamless, streamlined approach. Smart, efficient, and automated. So I think what we're going to do right now is we are going to do a demonstration. So Vanessa, if you would please take over from here.
That's right. Thank you, Adam. All right, let's get right into it. Let's see exactly how this works in Appulate. To do that, I'm going to pull up my completed Accord form. You may have it in an Accord PDF, as I have it on my screen here, or you may actually have it in your agency management system. And part of what makes Appulate unique is that we work, or the Appulate uplink works with any agency management system. So you don't have to worry about what version you're on, what version of Accord form you're using, what you may be transitioning to. It works with them all. So wherever your Accord form is, that's where you want to start, and you're going to Appulate it. In other words, you're going to print the Accord form to the Appulate uplink printer option. We'll talk about this during setup at the end, but it installs on your desktop in less than a minute if you don't already have that set up. If you do not have access to Accord forms, Appulate is still for you. I'll show you later on in the demonstration how you can actually get started directly in Appulate. All right, so confirm your Appulate credentials and hit send. Here on this next page, it may ask you to confirm the line of business based off of the Accord forms that you're bridging over or the markets that you selected to work with in Appulate. So yes, workers' comp. We'll click continue. Now, for this demonstration, we're doing workers' comp, but as Adam mentioned, Volta has other lines of business in Appulate. So neither Appulate nor Volta are limited to workers' comp. That's just a demonstration that we're showing you today. All of the other lines of business work the same. There's just, of course, different questions and different forms that may appear. All right, so here we are. It created the insured, created the line of business, brought us over to the Q&A section, which is where you want to be. Down below, this is what we call our SMART questionnaire. All of the information from the Accord form was bridged over so that you don't have to spend any time rekeying the information. The next step is to go ahead and add Volta as your market. So we'll go ahead and hit the plus sign, choose Volta, and as soon as you select Volta, the required questions for this particular market will appear. So any questions that are missing and required, you'll go ahead and answer those before you're able to click on the submit button. Now, as soon as I select Volta, you can see that there's also sub-markets that popped up. And to the right of the sub-markets are letter indications. And if you hover over them, there's different things that it will illustrate there. Further to the right, there's an estimated premium column. So I'm actually going to hand this over to Adam, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the sub-markets and what you're seeing here. Adam?
So thank you very much. What you're looking at here are the individual markets that we have the ability to submit these pieces of business to. One thing I do want to pay particular attention to is the fact that you see two employers' markets there. They are both the same, but where they differ is the employer's market in the middle with the lightning bolt next to it is API enabled, which means when you click submit, we actually have the ability to communicate that information directly to the carrier, at which point we are able to return a premium to you, not just a premium, a bindable quote in under a minute or two. And it's really a slick process. We are beta testing it right now, but we have released it to our producers. We encourage you to use it. It's an extremely simple process. You simply follow all of the red asterisks below, and once you have completed all that information, and you click submit, boom, it goes directly to that market, and then we're able to get it directly to the carrier and get you a premium almost instantaneously. So it's very slick. We're very excited about it, and we hope you guys take advantage of it as well. And then also in the middle of the page there, where it says estimated premium, that is the area for premium indications. So we try to leave no stone unturned. If you don't see an actual premium listed in there, most of the time it means that you haven't entered in enough information in order for it to do one, or there isn't that connection made yet within Appulate system. But for the most part, when you enter in the information it needs, it can proceed with either a premium indication, or we can get it directly to the carrier and get you a bindable quote back in minutes.
Very good. Thank you for that, Adam. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on now with our submission. If you bridged over an outdated Accord form, no problem. Just go ahead and click on the date, and you can click on the calendar here and update that. So this is for a previous year. I didn't want to have to rekey any of that information or create a new Accord form, so I just simply bridged it over, and I was able to update that effective date right within Appulate. So we'll go ahead and hit save, and we'll continue on with our submission. So as Adam mentioned before, the next steps are to answer any additional missing and required questions. They will be highlighted here or illustrated with a little red asterisk. Those are questions that are missing and required. You'll have to answer those down below here in the SMART questionnaire before you have a submit button that you can click on. If you hover over these letter indications, they're going to help guide you through the submission process. It's going to tell you what questions are missing and required, and these are live links. If you click on it, it will take you directly to where that question is missing and required down below. So bear with me here as I answer some of these questions live. Of course, I'm going to plug in just some quick information here to keep this moving forward, but you would fill this out accordingly.
So one thing, if I may say, when it comes to this information, the bulk of it is already on your Accord form. If you fill out the Accord form to as much as you can or to the best of your ability, things like the FEIN, the date the business first started, all that information, the location info, what the class code is, the necessary info is going to be in there already. So, if you're used to completing these Accord forms, then you're going to get this information back real quick. So it should be relatively easy for you.
Thank you for that, Adam. So just a couple of more questions here. And we will be well on our way. I'm going to leave that for just a second because I want Adam to tell you a little bit more about the payment options. Let me just plug in the contact information.
Actually, if you click on Add New, doesn't it pull one in there for you? Oh, there isn't one in there. Okay, I thought there was one.
There isn't one on the Accord. Otherwise, it would, yes. Okay, let's see here. How are we doing? So one question left to answer in the policy section. So we'll go straight to that. And it is regarding the payment plan. So I'm going to let Adam say a few words about the choices or the options here. Adam?
So one of the things that you should see here, first and foremost, is you see two sections for payment plan. One of those is for the employer's preferred insurance company market you see at the top. The other one is for the employer's market with a lightning bolt next to it. So if you're doing this straight and wanting straight through processing, my advice would be just to simply fill out both. In this case, when it comes to the installment plans, you have some options. However, those options are met with individual thresholds. So for example, in order to obtain a payment plan that is 30% down, the policy premium needs to be a minimum of $1,000. The 0% down pay-as-you-go, or called precise pay, this is a monthly reporting payment plan. It avoids you having to pay too much or too little on a monthly basis, is always a great option. But that one also has a minimum threshold of $1,000. And then the 10% down has a minimum threshold of $2,500. So you would select which payment plan you want, but depending on the premium, you may not necessarily get it.
Thank you, Adam. All right, so we've fulfilled the requirements. We now have a green submit button that we can click on. So we will click the submit button and get it right over to Volta. You could see the status will change accordingly to say submitted. And Adam told you a little bit about the turnaround time earlier, but Adam, is there anything else that you wanted to add about the turnaround time?
No, not really. When it comes to the employer's market, for example, that you see there, you see the little D that's next to it that's telling you it's declined. And that, of course, has to do with, in this case, needing to provide insurance history. So if the risk is, if the business is 3, 4, 5 years old and they have had previous insurance, you're going to need to list that accordingly. But if it's a new venture, then it won't require that information, and then you can move forward. So when it comes to any one of these, it really just boils down to whether or not it's a targeted class code or not. In either case, it's either instantaneous or at most will be 48 hours.
Thank you, Adam. All right. So we've showed you how easy it is to bridge over existing data from an Accord form that you may have, again, in your management system or an Accord PDF. But as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have access to Accord forms, now you do actually with Appulate. And you can always start directly in Appulate. So I'll show that to you quickly here. You'll just go ahead and log into Appulate, and on the very first page that you get logged into, which is this insured, all insured, there's a button here at the very top left that says add new customer or prospect. If you click on that, it's going to ask you to input the insured's name, and you could click continue at that point. That's all that's required on that page. On this next one, you'll choose a line of business. So let's say we're still doing workers' comp. We'll choose that, click continue. And then on this next page, the process is exactly the same as I showed you earlier. It's just that you're not bridging over information. You're actually filling out information directly in Appulate. You're starting directly with an Appulate if you don't have an Accord form already filled out. And same process, you'll go through here, answer all of the missing and required questions, and once you fulfill the requirements, then you'll be able to click the submit button. But the cool thing about this is that if you don't have access to Accord forms, as I mentioned earlier, now you do, because all of the information that you're plugging in directly in here to answer the questions specifically for Volta will actually populate an Accord form for you in the background. So if you go over to the form section, you can see here that you have access to any Accord forms that pertain to this line of business. And if I open that up here just quickly in a PDF, you can see that all of the information that I'm starting to plug into Appulate, which was just a couple of fields for now, is populating this Accord form for you that you will always have access to. So you can always view this, pull it up at any time, and even extract it from Appulate. All right, so now I would like to go over setup, and then we'll go ahead and open this up for any questions. So everyone that was invited to this webinar already has Appulate credentials. So you already have Appulate credentials. You could log right in. All you have to do is go to the appulate.com sign-in page and type in your credentials here. If you didn't know you had credentials, if you don't remember your password, you could always click on this forgot password link and it will reset them for you. If this email invitation was forwarded to you, you can always click on sign up now, and it just takes a couple of minutes to input basic information to create your Appulate account. Again, remember, it's absolutely free to use with our partnered markets like Volta. Once you sign in, go to the setup tab, the tools tab. Once you're signed in, go to tools, go to Appulate Uplink, and this is how you can install Uplink on your desktop. Again, it takes less than a minute, and it installs as a print driver. So choose your management system from the drop-down menu. If you don't see yours listed, there's an other option that you can click on, and then click on the link to download. Okay, there's more detailed instructions if you need them, and a supported AMS list here.
Just so that you know, if I can, Volta will also, for any new producer that we bring on board, we walk you through this entire process. We train you on the platform as well. We bring you up to speed and give you all of the documentation, all the information you need in order to start out with submitting your first policy without any issues. And then also we have our customer service that's available to you as well, should you have any questions. So we definitely make ourselves available and give you the tools you need in order to get started.
Very good. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to share Adam's contact information with you so you can jot that down and reach out to go ahead and get started. All right, so once you have Uplink installed, the other thing that I would like to direct you to do is to make sure that Volta is listed as one of your selected markets. Go to Markets and Selected. Be sure that Volta is listed on here. If they're not, you can go to Markets and Available and search for Volta from our list. Click the plus sign over here to add them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. And while we do that, again, I want to go ahead and pull up Adam's contact information. I'm going to leave that open the entire time that we are going through questions here. The very first question, actually, Adam, is about New Jersey. Do you plan to open this up to New Jersey, or do you currently write in New Jersey?
We actually write in your sister state, New York. But if you are in New Jersey, let me look into getting a license in New Jersey, and we can get that taken care of. I think New Jersey is a reciprocating state, so we should be in good shape where that's concerned. Make sure, if you can, you've got my email address there. If you could please email me so I know who you are. And as long as I have, someone who's saying they want New Jersey, I'll go out and get New Jersey. I mean, getting licensed in additional states is not a complicated thing. The two hardest ones, of course, are California and New York. But we have both of those, so we're in good shape there.
The Volta team is very easy to work with, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to see, as Adam mentioned, please do reach out. The next question here is about appointments. Do you have to be appointed? Are there any appointment requirements? Adam, would you like to get into that?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was going to bring this up anyway. As far as getting appointed with Volta, there's two ways to do it. You could do it directly through Appulate's platform, or the second way is to go to my website, voltainsurance.com, and there, right on the main screen, you don't have to go anywhere, is a button that just says Get Appointed. It opens up a form for DocuSign. You can fill out all the information right there. You attach a copy of your license, copy of your E&O, then click Submit. Takes you no more than 5 minutes to do. Once we have verified the information that you have submitted, in this case your license, we will be able to appoint you on the spot. So getting appointed is very simple, and we want to appoint you. Everyone who's on this call today, we want to appoint you. We want to give you guys the opportunity to see what we can do for you and to earn your business. We have no monthly fees in order to be a part of our group. We have no minimum production requirements. Just give us the opportunity to quote your business, and we'll all be the better for it. And then, of course, any questions that you have, we will, we want to answer for you at any time. So yeah, we're just looking for the opportunity to get you appointed to be able to quote.
There's a comment here. Great job, Volta. I have to second that.
Thank you very much. Get appointed. We want you.
All right, last call.
And I mean that too. No more questions? I mean that too. Everyone who's on this call is going to be getting an email from me, whether you like it or not. You will be getting an email from me thanking you for joining today. And we're going to reach out to each and every one of you to try to get you appointed. Any questions you have, give us a call. We would love to have the opportunity to work with you.
I think that's it for today, Adam.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you very much for your time today, and we hope to be doing business with you very shortly in the future.
Thank you all. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.